Hi again, everyone. Today I'm building the Mandalorian Season 1, and I'll be using this 5 Lego sets, plus some of my own creations from the Mandalorian series. Prepare to have a good laugh, and don't expect normal from this channel. Curious, right? So, let's get started.
Finally done.
This is the Mandalorian.
That door is really dangerous.
Or we can just call him Mando. Mando meets Greef Karga to deliver his latest bounty. But Greef Karga offered a new bounty, though Mando had to meet someone first. Then he arrived at his destination. And here, Mando finally met the client. He's got ties to the Imperials. Here's how I made him. For the hair, I used Ernie Prang from the Harry Potter Night Bus set. And for the face, I used Balin the Dwarf from the Hobbit and Unexpected Gathering set. For the torso and legs, I used Greef Karga from the Imperial Armored Marauder set. Then just add the medallion part. As Mando walked in, suddenly.
Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill.
Not you, Vader.
Come on, man!
He freaked out and pointed his blaster. The client told the stormtroopers to lower their weapon, and he sat down to talk. Mando was tasked to capture a mysterious 50-year-old target.
Alive.
Yeah, I know, Dr. Pershing. By the way, here's how to make Dr. Pershing. For the face, I used Dr. Loomis from Jurassic World Rebirth. And for the torso, I used Lobot from the Twin-Pod Cloud Car and Bespin set. Then the client gave a down payment with a single bar of Beskar.
Oh my God!
And Mando accepted the bounty. Then he went to the secret Mandalorian enclave to meet the armorer. Mando asked for new armor with 1 bar of Beskar. The armorer took the Beskar, preparing to forge it. She began melting the Beskar. Why does she look like a chef from a fancy restaurant?
Bruh.
Whoa, girl, you're burning up! The armor's being fitted, and now Mando has Beskar armor. Before starting the search, how about you subscribe and like this video first? Why should you subscribe and like? Because Mando said,
This is the way.
thank you if you've already subscribed and liked. You are officially part of the Mandalorian. And if you want to see more funny Star Wars video like this, subscribe, guys, so you won't miss it. He went to the planet where the target was last reported. By the way, here's my Razor Crest build. Mod of the Razor Crest Microfighter, inspired by the Razor Crest mini build Polybag. And check this out, the back ramp actually opens up. And here it is, the Razor Crest mini build. What do you think? Oh, you want smaller version? All right, bet. And here it is, the micro version of the Razor Crest. If you want to make it, check out Cosbrick. Mando arrived on the planet and immediately began searching for his target. But while he's searching for the target, he was attacked by a blurg. By the way, this blurg is based on the Razor Crest set. And you can add a rope to the blurg, or you can make the micro version from Cosbrick. Mando struggled against the blurg, but suddenly, someone saved him from the blurg. His name is Kuiil. Why did I make Kuiil? Because the minifigure itself costs $6-7 and... Oh no, wait. Come on, man. It costs $67.33, which means I don't have that much money. For the head, I used the Ugnaught from the Carbon Freezing Chamber set, had the scarf from Lucy Wildstyle, and torso from Harry Kane. Wait, not this one, but this one. Kuiil decided to help him to find his target.
I have spoken.
Mando and Kuiil moved toward the target's location. When they arrived at the location, Kuiil left Mando alone. Then he monitored the target location, but it turned out the place was guarded. But then he saw a droid.
Huh?
And it turned out the droid was IG-11 from the Guild. By the way, if you can't get the IG-11 minifigure because the set is too expensive, you can use a roller skate part and a round plate.
Nice.
Then he went to approach IG-11.
My brother.
And yes, they teamed up. And then they got closer to the target. Mando's like, wait, this thing's 50 years old? And just as IG was about to terminate it, Mando won't let that slide. And Mando's journey as a father begins.
Huh?
By the way, this pod was inspired by Icarus bricks. As Mando and the child returned to the ship, suddenly Mando panicked. It turns out he saw the Jawas dismantling his ship. Mando chased the Jawas to reclaim his belongings. By the way, here's the mini-build Sandcrawler. In this Sandcrawler, I used some reverse Technic studs. Or you can build an even smaller Sandcrawler from Cosbrick. So, which Sandcrawler will you build? The new one or the old one? Write it in the comments. Mando managed to climb the Sandcrawler, but suddenly...
Huh?
He fell and suddenly Kuiil came to help him. And finally, they found the Jawas. Kuiil negotiated with the Jawas to return Mando's belongings. It turned out the Jawas wanted an egg in return.
Easy!
Here's the egg. Not this egg.
Mando reached the place where the egg was kept, but suddenly... It turned out the egg the Jawas wanted was a Mudhorn egg. By the way, this Mudhorn was inspired by Manuel Pascal on Facebook and Papa Glop on Rebrickable. I used some special rock plates that are quite rare. What do you think of this Mudhorn? Is it cool? Write it in the comments. Suddenly, his rifle jammed because covered in mud.
Oh no.
He was overwhelmed fighting the Mudhorn. The child sensed that Mando was on the brink, but he kept standing, risking his life. And then the Mudhorn was killed after being slammed down with the Force. And of course, it was the child who did it.
Magic.
Mando handed over the Mudhorn egg to the Jawas and got his belongings back. After that, he repaired his ship and left the planet. Mando delivered the child to the client. Suddenly, he asked the client what they would do to the child. The client said it was none of his business and immediately handed over the promised Beskar. Then he left the place. Mando returned to meet the armorer. Now he asked the armorer to forge him a full Beskar armor, and the armorer prepared to forge it. Let her cook. All right, that's enough. Then the armorer began melting the Beskar to forge the armor. How many times have I said armor, armor? And now Mando's armor is full Beskar.
Thank you.
As he was about to leave, Mando suddenly felt guilty toward the child. So he returned to the client's place. But suddenly, while he was off guard, glad Mando didn't overreact.
You stupid! FBI, open up!
Mando finally discovered the child was about to be used for experiments. Then he ordered Dr. Pershing to raise his hands and turn around. But suddenly he had vanished with the child. On his way back to the ship, Mando was suddenly surrounded by many bounty hunters. It turned out they were sent by Grief Karga because Mando broke the rules. Wait, I didn't know Patrick was a bounty hunter. Then he shot several bounty hunters to find cover. Now he was cornered by bounty hunter. But then something unexpected happened.
My brother.
Paz told Mando to leave and let them handle it. This is the way. He left with the child to keep him safe. Mando finally arrived on the planet Sorgan. There, he met Cara Dune, a former rebel shock trooper turned mercenary. And she told Mando to leave.
Aw, man.
As Mando prepared to leave, suddenly someone appeared. No, he's not Frodo from Lord of the Rings. He's just a local from the village around here. He offered Mando a job. Definitely not looking for the One Ring. But it's to drive the Klatooinian Raiders out of the village. He agreed on the condition they provide him lodging. Then he recruited Cara Dune with the credits he earned. Mando and Cara arrived at the village, and there they met Omera, a widowed mother. For the head, I used Trudy Shakan from this Avatar set, and torso, I used Thorin Oakenshield from the Lake Town Chase set. But I think there's something wrong with Omera. Mando and Cara found out the Klatooinian Riders had an ATST. Night fell, and they tried to strike Klatooinian Riders in secret.
Huh?
But it turned out things weren't that easy. And here it is, the ATST Raider. This is a modification of the Battle of Endor set. I modified the shape and color of its legs, and of course its look, to resemble the Raider's ATST. And yep, still got all the play features. No worries. So, what do you think of this Raider ATST? Share your thoughts in the comments. Mando came up with a genius plan to bring down the walker.
No.
The Klatooinian Riders were defeated.
Oh no.
Mando decided to leave the child here, since it might be safe for the child. But suddenly,
We're just friends.
It turned out Cara killed the bounty hunter who was after the child. Then Mando left the village and parted ways with Cara as well. As Mando was leaving, he was suddenly chased by a bounty hunter, but he managed to defeat him. But his ship was damaged, so he had to stop at the nearest repair dock. And there, he met Peli Motto, the owner of the hangar. Then he asked Peli Motto to repair his ship, but it turned out Mando's ship had many fatal damages. Mando's repair bill won't be cheap, so he went off to look for work. Then he found a cantina, maybe he could find a job there. He even asked a droid for jobs. Then he met Toro Calican, an aspiring bounty hunter. For the head, I used Dastan Scabbard. For the torso, I used the dark blue Harry Potter jacket from the Hogsmeade Village visit set. Toro offered Mando a job to capture Fennec Shand, so Toro could join the guild. He agreed on the condition that Toro bring 2 speeder bikes. Toro, not this type of bike. Toro then arrived, so they set out for Fennec Shand's location. By the way, here's Mando's speeder bike and Toro's speeder bike. These 2 speeder bikes were inspired by Leisure Time Bricks and the Sans Bricks. Which one do you like more, Mando's or Toro's? Leave it in the comments. Shan noticed the arrival of Mando and Toro. Then she managed to shoot Mando's speeder bike. Nice try, Shan, but she still got caught. They managed to capture Shan, but Mando had to go find another vehicle since his speeder bike was damaged. While Mando was away, Shan said that Mando and the child were worth more than her, since he betrayed the guild, and suddenly Toro shot Shan. Then he went to the repair dock, and then Mando returned, but he didn't see Toro, and only Shan seemed dead. Mando grew suspicious. When he returned to the dock, the mechanic and the child had been taken hostage, but suddenly, he messed with the wrong guy. Mando looted Toro Calican to pay for the repairs from Peli Motto. Then he left to continue his journey. Mando reached out to his former partner to ask about work. His name is Ran Malk. Ran Malk explained about the job. He needed a ship for a 5-person mission, teaming up with Mayfeld, Bird, Zero, and Zeon. The mission was to rescue Xi'an's brother, who was being held by the New Republic. Mando and his team arrived at the New Republic prison ship. Meanwhile, Zero served as the slicer. As they entered, they were blocked by droids.
Hello there.
They found the chief of security, but the chief of security threatened to trigger the security beacon, which could immediately summon an attack on the place. But then... Nice move, Xi'an. Now we're in danger. And finally, they found Xi'an's brother. His name was Qin. Why is he wearing makeup? They freed Qin from his shackles, but suddenly... Mando was betrayed. But don't worry.
Magic.
Let's do this. He returned to the control room to retrieve the security beacon, and the nightmare begins. Wait, you cannot do that thing.
Oh no.
Yeah, boy.
Oh. Mando managed to capture Qin and was going to bring him to Ran. He returned to Ran and handed Qin over. Mando asked for the payment as agreed, and Ran Malk paid him. Then he left as if nothing had happened. Ran Malk planned to chase Mando and kill him, but suddenly...
Huh?
Mando received a call from Grief Karga to help him drive out the former Imperial forces led by the Client on Navarro. Sensing it was a trap, Mando went to meet Cara Dune. He asked Cara to join him in helping. Cara agreed and decided to help Mando. Besides Cara Dune, Mando went to ask Kuiil to join him as well. Wait, why does the blurg look so terrifying? And why is it wearing lipstick? Wait, let me change it first so you won't have nightmares. But suddenly, it turned out to be Kuiil's rebuilt IG-11.
I have spoken.
Mando and his team arrived on Navarro and met with Karga and his associates. They went toward their destination until night fell, and they decided to rest first. But suddenly, Karga was attacked by a Reptavian. Here's how Navarro Reptavian looks. What do you think of this Reptavian? Write it in the comments. Karga was badly injured, but suddenly the child approached him and began to use Force Heal. By the way, this was the very first Force Heal shown in live action. Imagine how many doctors would lose their jobs because of this. Morning came and they finally reached their destination. But suddenly, Karga actually wanted to kill Mando, but since the child healed him, he couldn't bring himself to do it. So instead, Karga invited him to kill the client. Mando agreed, and he had a plan. He handed the child to Kuiil to take back to the ship, and Mando would pretend to be captured by Cara and Karga. And they went to the client's place. And they arrived at the client's place. Karga brought Mando to the client, but suddenly, the client received a call from someone. Suddenly, the place was fired upon from outside, and it turned out the place was already surrounded by troopers. Then, a TIE fighter arrived. And it turned out to be Moff Gideon, a former Imperial officer. By the way, here's how the TIE Fighter looks. This TIE Fighter is a mod of the Imperial TIE Fighter set. I modified it so it can be in landing mode.
Oh my God!
What do you think of this TIE Fighter? Write and comment. And don't forget to rate the landing mode. By the way, this is the first time a TIE Fighter has landed without ladder. Moff Gideon arrived, demanding that they hand over the child. Mando contacted Kuiil to take the child away from here, but their communication was intercepted by scout troopers, and they began chasing Kuiil. And here's 74Z Speeder Bike. This one is a modification of the Snowtrooper Battle Pack. I only changed the front end. Kuiil fell and was killed when shot by scout troopers. IG-11 approached the scout troopers. Then it carried the child and hurried off to help the others. Time to show off those droid skills.
Huh? Listen, I'm not involved in any of this.
Mando joined the fight, but suddenly... As they tried to protect Mando, suddenly an incinerator stormtrooper appeared and began burning everything. The trooper came closer, ready to burn them, but then... Don't make the child angry if you don't want that to happen. Cara tells IG-11 to promise to save Mando, then to carry the child and go. IG-11 removed Mando's helmet and treated his wound, revealing that Mando's real name is
Udin din 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 dun, ma din 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 dun.
I mean Din Djarin. Mando followed his friends, who turned out to be in the Mandalorian Enclave. It turned out the armorer was still in the Enclave, while the others had either died or fled. Then the armorer gave Mando a jetpack, and now Mando can fly, just like most other Mandalorians. Then, they tried to escape through the underground lava river, but IG detected that the troopers were waiting at the end of the tunnel, ready to attack. IG-11 chose to walk through the lava toward the troopers and activated his self-destruct. The troopers were all dead, but another problem arose. Moff Gideon is here.
Come on, man!
Then Mando found a way to bring down Moff Gideon's TIE Fighter. Yo! Is that Spider-Man?
Hey, Mandalorian, you shouldn't be...
That would be hurt.
Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet! Come on, man!
Yo, 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 yo! Yo, you wallin', bro! You wallin', bro!
Mando brought down Moff Gideon's ship, then returned to take the child, and parted ways with Karga and Cara. But it turned out... Moff Gideon was still alive. By the way, this was the very first live-action debut of the Darksaber. So, do you guys want Season 2? If yes, write it in the comments. And that's it for The Mandalorian and Lego. Hope you guys have a good laugh. Don't expect normal from this channel. If you like it, give it a thumb and subscribe. Yes, subscribe, because this is the way, and I have spoken.